This is the radio show Storytime presented by CEI and supported by Erasmus+. So today our topic will be family, the connections with family and everything else. So today in the studio it is me, Yeva from Lithuania and Kata from Hungary. And also we have two wonderful guests, Chetan and Shailaja. Sorry, I don't know how to say your name correctly.
Shailaja.
Okay. So, first question I would like to ask is about the view in your countries. What is the view on the family? How is it imagined, and the general view of what a family is?
Okay. Ladies for Shailaja.
Yes, please, Chetan, you can continue and I'll join you probably.
Okay. Eva. Hello.
Yes?
Ah. Okay. About family, I guess it's not country specific. The family is anyways always important for it's depending. It's no matter which country it is. So it's something like bond we share with our siblings, with our parents. It's not country specific. It's I believe it's same as India and it's everywhere else. What are your views, Shailaja?
Well, actually, hello listeners, I'm Shailaja and hi Eva, Kata and Chetan. So about family, well, I completely agree with you, Chetan, because any country, any place, any city, all over the world, family is very important and is a priority in an individual's life. And just that different countries have different definitions, different perspectives about family. And nonetheless, it's always a close knit group wherein individuals, share love and care and concern and respect for each other.
Yes, it's true, but I came to mind that what do you think about in your country still value the family? Because in Hungary, unfortunately, I see a lot of divorced nowadays. So still value the family in your country or not, or what do you think?
Well, yes. I mean, the same is the case also with India, I would say that we do have a lot of cases of divorce and separation, so on and so forth. However, I would say that, since the reasons are different now, earlier the reasons were different, and now with the world changing so fast, with technology advancing so tremendously, and the needs and the ambitions and the goals of each individual also is changing rapidly. So, which is again leading to, as we mentioned, separation and divorces, and yeah, what else do I say?
So, how do you imagine a family yourself? Like, when you hear the word family, what do you see in your head? Do you see just like your own family, or is it more than just parents and siblings? How do you see a family?
Well, I believe of course, parents and siblings, and also, so in India we have extension, our parents' siblings and our parents' parents, and in India you would see that families who stay in as a joint family, and there are a lot of families who stay as a nuclear family. And even despite being a nuclear family, people are still very attached to the extensions, to the extension of the family. Their siblings hang out together, siblings discuss, including parents. So when I see my family, even including in my family, we cousins are so close knit, and we are almost like we bombard each other with messages on, thanks to WhatsApp and Facebook. So it's just a constitution in itself, wherein people are just there for each other always with unconditional support and unconditional love.
Yes, that's very nice. What about in Hungary, Kata?
Yes, I have elder brother, so I really know that what was saying the guest, because yes, it's a really good thing that someone has a sibling. So because grew up together, and um, and yeah, later I really can't imagine doing myself that. I would like to a lot of kids, because it's a good thing that it's not only one kid, so it's two or three. It's better.
Yes, for myself and in Lithuania, I think there are a lot of different families, but mostly the family, well, in Lithuania it is imagined as parents, siblings, and sometimes grandparents. But in my case, I also imagine as part of my family all my aunts and uncles, which I have a lot, and also my cousins, since my mom and her family are very close, also bonded. So we meet them a lot, and I grew up with my cousins. I'm the oldest one of the cousins, but I still spend a lot of time with all the other cousins, and we meet every month and just don't lose the connection, the love in a way of a family. Then, uh, how is it also in your country about family image when when you grow up, you become a young adult? Is it more often to seek to create your own family or to create career? How do you just go about it?
Um, well, so about families, so over here, usually the children, probably move into another city when they are in their bachelor's or in their master's, or when they are, beginning to pursue the career. However, that is just like a period wherein you are probably like how you go out for some time and you have these wonderful, memorable experiences, and then again you come back to the family. So that is how it mostly happens in India, wherein even if the child probably moves away to another city or another country for various reasons, either the family along shifts or maybe things work out in the end. And I actually kind of agree. This whole concept of cousins meeting every month and catching up, Leva, that's this just amazing, because I believe all this just makes the bond stronger in a family. When you're just you are into a busy schedule and things change, and maybe you just move into a different area of the city or a different city or a different country altogether, you often tend to lose contact, and then you don't know what's happening in each other's lives. And I think family is a very important, a very crucial part. And in fact, this is just beautiful when families, still retain that connection, and they still meet each other, and they still share the same love and bond what they had previously. Um, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, I think. How is it in Hungary? Do you seek more career or family people there? What do you think?
It depends, because I see most people want to create a family, and the most important thing in the life. But most people, no, I don't want to. Don't want to family. Just want to learn, and just want to earn a lot of money. I don't know. So it's hard to tell, because in my opinion, it's very easy because I want to create a family. I want to a big family, and it's for me it's not question that it is a most important thing in the life, because I don't know, do you share with my opinion that why important, why so important the family? Because later I will not on the word, but the my my kids still live. um, Before I can give my children um, my experiences, and it's all in all it's very beautiful progress. So, but return to the previous thought that I think it's yes, the family may be more important than the career, but it depends. But yeah, it's,
Yeah, I think it is true in at least in Europe a lot. Also in Lithuania, I see a lot of young adults who seek career before they want to create family, and it's not natural. But also there are a lot who start families and who want to go and to have some uh, big families, some not that big, and all everyone is different, so it's also very different. Even in the same city, there are so many people who want very different things. Um, but I think that family is important in a way. It doesn't really necessarily need to be uh, just your other half and kids, but it still is important to have someone close that you consider family. Continuing on this thought, how do you see like a family? Is it already a family if it's just two people who stay together, or does a family require kids or pets or so on?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, Eva. I feel that depends upon the. It should not be compulsory that you have kids or not. Obviously, it's a wonderful things to have kids, but it's and but I personally feel that it should be from the personal choice of the couples involved, and not from the uh, factor that it is important from the society point of view, or it is important from the family as a whole. It should be the sole choice of the couples involved, and not of anyone. Because I have seen in India, you have this tradition that after a marriage, after a few years, the parents or the extended family start to pressurize if you have no kids. Because in India, it's where the people will start questioning you, why don't you have kids after 2 3 years of marriage? Now there are couples, of my friends obviously, who do a family get into a family planning, but in the country like India, it's very difficult to face all this when you have the people who are still not so open minded as compared to Western countries.
Hello.
Yes,
Yes.
Shailaja.
Yeah. Adding to what Chetan said, definitely. So, family is not just about the physical connection, everything. Family is also about, that love for each other, that connection, that comfort space, that acknowledgement, that support for through the highs and the lows in the life. So, and plus, come on, families are also pets, and pets are also, what am I saying? Pets are also family, and so in India, although now that the world is changing, many families are also again deciding whether they would want to have a child or not. Nevertheless, that concept, that entire unity of a family is still there in India. So, which is great.
I think it's a family for me without children. So, okay. So, in my opinion about family, I can't imagine family without children because, and okay, maybe um, um, maybe there are couples where cannot. How can I say it? Yeah,
When they cannot have children?
you cannot have children. Yes, right. Um, I think, for example, um, for me, later I cannot having children. Definitely, I want to adopt a child from other country because the child, for me, I don't know. It's the best thing. So for me, I cannot imagine. But it's really true. So I agree with others that the family is not just with children. So yes, support each other and love each other and respect each other. So yes, this is the basic. It's definitely.
Yes, I also agree with all of you. I believe that a family starts from just always. Uh, and also, I have in my close circle of friends and relatives, I have families who are just like my aunt and her husband, and and their dog, of course. And I don't think that's a bad thing. As long as they are happy that way, it's still okay to not want children because not everyone is created to raise a child. Talking about the creating a family, is it still very often to that elder people and other people around you uh, push into having a family, like Chetan mentioned? It is still often that parents and grandparents expect you to have a second half in some time. And so, is it still very often like to have that kind of opinion?
Uh, Eva, if I give my example, obviously I don't have such pressure from my family. It's okay. They are okay. If I'm kind of person, I preferred this career more than a family. So obviously they were okay with it. But at the same time, yes, if, in case you take the overall picture, what's happening in India, basically the cities, the non-metro cities where the people are still are not so open. There obviously there's a pressure not only to have kids, it's pressure to get married also. There are and mostly on the for the females after a certain age they get pressurized from the families to get married as early as possible. So things are still. I'm not saying the things are not changing, but yes, things have changed drastically. But still, the problem is still there, wherein the families are pressurizing the child and especially the girl child to get married, and after getting married, the females have pressure to have kids. So it's like that, and even if I say it further, the females are there are many females who have pressure to have the this boy child, not a girl child. So this mentality is still in India, which I'm sure it will take few maybe a decade to change. Yes, I'm there. Shailaja?
Well, so yes, definitely the pressure is there on, and I would say it's equally on men and women. And of course, the grandparents would want that their grandchild, they would want another extension of the family, grandchild, and then the parents also after a point they also they see, since all of us are we believe, we are born with that belief that a family is complete when you have your own child. And women are born with the motherly instinct. So after a point, it does create a lot of pressure, and it is still evident. It's still there, and hopefully, thanks, because thanks to the world changing, and now people are getting that space. People are getting that choice of deciding when they would want to extend the family. So that is luckily a very good thing that is happening now, and people are accepting that, people are being open to that idea that they can decide, they can choose when they would want to extend their family. And nonetheless, we seeing that the pressure is definitely there, and it's very evident.
Almost the same in Hungary, because I see two parts. For example, the women over 30, okay, they are still alone, and still ugly and still old, and something like that. But the men in Hungary, over 30 or under 30 years, oh, it's okay, it's normal. So yes, but by the way, the pressure, the society pressure is very high nowadays, still, and yes, this is the situation in Hungary. It's general.
Yeah, I think in Lithuania it's also the same, that in big cities the pressure isn't as high because there are so many people who are not following in the family. They seek more career, but in the smaller villages where there aren't so many career opportunities, the pressure to have a family is much bigger. For myself, I don't feel any pressure for now, but also I'm still very young. Uh, so I still, yes, I still have a lot of time.
Because how old are you?
I'm 21.
Yeah, but
So I still have a lot of time, and I think that also people around me think that way. Anyway, I do feel the need from inside me that I want a family and I don't want to wait a long time. So I think it also comes a little from inside me that I see that the best family is when it starts, well, as soon as you feel grown up enough for your own, for the taking the responsibility of having your own family. Talking about family, I wanted to ask: is the roles of every single member of in the family, is there a specific role for a mother, what she is supposed to be and what she has to do, and about a father or kids? How is it seen, the roles of family members?
Role of a mother. If I compare if I see as far as my family is concerned, so I've seen that my mom doesn't had any pressure with the family. She has to do a specific job of cooking or taking care of the kids or something. She had been a teacher since she is married, and she is taking care of the business. And obviously, there are times that she cooks and all, but there had been never had been a pressure on her or any of the siblings. It's always and I believe that in every family this should be the reason. It's the it should not you should not label a person that what okay she's a mother, he's a father, and he is young, he is old, he has to do this thing or that thing. This is uh, everything should be out of the personal choice. Obviously you have certain restrictions and restrictions in the family, and but at the same time it's all well, boils down to your personal choice what you want to do. And I've seen this in my family also. My father used to cook whenever he feels like. Whenever my mom is not there, my father used to cook, or my younger sibling would cook. So it's absolutely fine. So, but yes, in as a society as a whole, we have a label wherein the a female is expected to take care of the family, or and the man is expected to earn for the family. But that too in big cities in India, it's the trend is changing now, since since you have everything so costly, everything, you can't afford everything out of one income. So there are couples who both are working, and the kids are and the maids are taking care of the kids. So it's happening in big cities. If you see, it's nothing like it's labeled that mother has to do this thing or that thing, or and who is going to be a earner in the family. Everybody is earning because of the inflation in the country. And but yes, in the small cities, if you go in India, you still have the females taking care of the kids, taking care of the house, and doing all household chores, while at the same time the men of the house is going out to earn. So it's like that. I don't. Shailaja, what's your views?
Well, so women have, women are always multifunctional and multifaceted. So we usually do, two three things or more than two things together at a point, at any given point of. Having said that, also this has created a pressure, or sometimes people expect women to be do many things together, like be a mother, be a cook, be a caretaker, and everything, so many more, so many and much more than that. So definitely yes, this has resulted in and specific specific job roles or specific family roles or just things in general. Having also in India, so as Chetan mentioned, conservative families, yes, definitely a mother has a, she is expected, it's like the unsaid wording, or it's the unsaid rule that she is supposed to do so and so, she's supposed to do this. And whereas when we metropolitan cities, and with families that are now being open to change, and now accepting diversity, and now are accepting that people have their own choices to make, and they're open to adjusting, they're open to compromising, they're open to supporting each other. So there are families here as well who, the man and the wife, the husband and the wife, both of them together, they work and they schedule their timings accordingly so that they spend time with their children, and that their child isn't deprived of anything. Love and affection being the topmost priority.
Yeah, I agree with you because I see that the rules has already changed and already mixed nowadays, because before the rules quite easier than now, because for women just taking children, and man earn the money, and that's all. But now is everything has changed. But I came my mind immediately one movie about this question. And one movie is My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Do you know this? My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Okay, it's in the film, the grandma said her daughter that, okay, my daughter, the man ahead in the family, uh, but the woman is a neck. So yeah, it's once again. Okay, so I think this is my opinion about it, because yeah, it's a man ahead in the family, but it's a really huge background, the woman. So
Yes, we actually have that saying in Lithuania. We use it, well, I hear it quite a bit, especially when a man says something, for example, my father, when he decides something and we have to follow. It's very easy for my mother to say that, well, my father is kind of the head of the family, the one who makes decisions. The wife is usually still the one who guides his decisions and helps him decide in that way, giving her input usually without man noticing so much. But it's also an old view on a family. I think that now it's more common to have mutual decisions and uh, also share all the responsibilities of raising kids and also earning money. In my own family, I still feel like my mother is doing more about when it comes to us, the children, and even cooking, but I feel like it's not the same way as it was a while ago. The woman was always the caretaker, because I have this view on my family, the way my parents interact and they raise us, and it's very different from how my grandmother, my mom's mother, does stuff. Because in my grandparents' house, my grandfather never gets into the kitchen during the day because she's cooking, and she doesn't like anyone interrupting, unless she needs help, of course. But usually, she still has her role of cooking and raising kids and making sure everything is okay. And my grandfather is more about taking care of the property, the house, the animals that they grow, and so on. And the money, I don't think it's just from one person, because now usually both parents work unless one parent has a job that has a sufficient income for the whole family. So it's also like the same in most of the world. Talking about family roles, I also want to ask about the kids, more about when they grow up. Is it often that after finishing school, the kids just leave family and go to study? And what about the support in university? Do parents still pay for the education after school, or is it more common to get your own money and pay for everything?
Okay, that totally depends upon the family you are grown up to, because I had paid for my own education when I was obviously after the schooling. Up to the schooling, my parents had paid, but when I was in college, I was working also and I was earning also. And the reason was that my family couldn't afford my education. But at the same time, when I look back today, I think that whatever happened was good, because since I was working and earning, I had this knack that I have to earn money. And once I've completed my graduation, and it was easier for me to adopt a new role in the job, and have the mindset of earning money. So at the same time, I feel the kids who come from a rich family, who either know that they have to take care of the business, they don't understand that values of money in most cases, not all obviously. And in case and I feel that no matter if you have a family who can support you also, who can afford the payment of your education, but still you should earn something, because at the same time your own money when you have, so it's like build you for the greater challenges ahead once you complete your graduation. And I've seen the trend is changing now. The students are taking students loan. And when I was studying, there was no such concept of a student loan, but now it is becoming the more students are taking the students loan, the education is very becoming very expensive here. And the students wants to go to the big colleges. For that they need money, and they prefer to take students loan. And at the same, the parents are ultimately responsible for paying off that loan. So in case the student is not clearing up that loan, so that burden is on the parents only. So I feel while the child is earning, while child is studying, sorry, at the same time he should earn also. not irrespective that he has a student loan to pay, or irrespective his parents could afford some money, he should do it. And that too, I feel it's totally depends upon the family he comes from, and depends upon the mindset, and depends on value his family is giving him. I was running this out of my what do you say, I don't I can't find a right word, monetary issues of my family. I was earning because of that, but because if I have a children, I was obviously I would recommend him to earn, not to pressure him, but obviously I'll recommend him to earn while studying. That's my views.
Um, well, I believe, as Chetan also mentioned, and continuing with it, that it completely depends upon the family, and along with the family, it also depends upon the circumstances, the situations, specifically the financial background, and like what is the entire situation. So, because I believe that we shape our beliefs and our experiences and how what we wish to do in life. So well, like there are families here who are. I was in fact just speaking to one of my friends who's a junior, and she recently lost her brother, and so her mom moved back to her native town, and she was here with her two brothers and her father. So she started working 12 hours a day. So now she's juggling between studying, completing her studies, and to working, and also, providing support to her family. So it completely depends upon the situation and the family's perspective or the family's beliefs.
Yes, definitely. It depends on the family, it depends on the circumstances, and I think it depends on the side because I don't think so that, for example, I have money and I have to give all the time for my kids. So because I don't want to spoil them. So. But it's really hard to manage this situation. That it's which situation is that okay, I give them some money because of university tuition fee or something like that, or which situation that no you have to learn that save the money a little bit. You have to take responsibility. So yeah, it depends.
The case for me was a little different. In Lithuania, we have, if you get in university and your marks are good enough, you can get a scholarship. And it's not like only one or two students in a class get in the group of university gets the scholarship. There there are those places, for example, my faculty, uh, because there are a big demand of this profession, so they give out more scholarships. So while we're still in school, we are encouraged to get good marks because we know that if I do good, I will get a scholarship and then my parents won't need to pay. It was also in my family that my parents told me that they cannot pay for my university because, well, I have two younger brothers, so they can't help me with paying the loans. So I have to either get into the scholarship place or earn my own money. So for me, I really tried and I got a scholarship, and the little money that I need besides scholarship, that is enough, and my parents do pay for it and give me money. But I also want to get a job not because I need money, but like you mentioned before, that to get the feeling of the money, that it's not that it has value and how hard it is to earn it. So I also believe that having a job even while studying is a good thing. but it's also depends because when it is hard to study, is it worth earning your own money if it is getting in the way of your studies? So in my opinion, it's in a way it is really good to earn and to work, but otherwise I think that finishing university for me is more important than starting working while in university. But that is also only my opinion. And yeah, there are some parents who pay and don't care about how good the student is doing in studying, or that they don't know the value of money. It's optional.
Yeah, scholarship is a really good way because if you learn great, so you after that you get a scholarship, right?
It's like you get a reward for
Right.
how good you are doing in studies. So yeah, I believe
Yes.
it's a good way to encourage students. In Lithuania, it's quite common to have a scholarship. About, well, depends from university. Like I know that in medical university, which is very good in Lithuania, they only have a very few scholarships. But in my faculty, we half of my group is actually studying with a scholarship. So, and also we have extra rewards for the best in the group who is getting money from the country for his achievements. So I think that is very admirable in a country to encourage the students to, well, reach for knowledge and not for work.
Yeah, it's true, but a lot of university not free of charge, so that it's not cover expense the scholarship or
The scholarship is that the country covers the expenses of the university.
it's enough this money.
Well, they just cover the expenses for the scholarship. Well, scholarship is just the money that the country pays the university to for me to study for free.
Oh, some universities when you start to learn in university, and after that, yes, of course you get a scholarship, for example, but in the meantime you pay because of learn there.
Well, in Lithuania, it is that you graduate school, and depending on how good you did in school, they decide who gets scholarships and who don't. So they look at your marks in school, and then if you're good enough, you can study in university. Also, it is possible to lose a scholarship if you go below some certain mark. And also, it is possible to get a scholarship in the middle of studying. For example, after half a year, if someone who had a scholarship lost it, then someone else is able to get it. And also, yeah, to study for free. It can be like they study for 2 years, for example, without a scholarship, and then there is a scholarship that was left because someone lost it, and then the student who is good enough, the best of all the other ones who want a scholarship, he gets a scholarship. So I think this is all that I have to ask you for today. Do you have anything to share or any questions that you might want to bring to light today?
I can't think about any questions as of now. But it's good to hear so many good views about the what actually I've heard about scholarships and all, because in India we don't have uh, the scholarship basis on the your what how much you how good you do how good you are in your academics, because it's mostly, since as you also know, we are the most second populated country in the world, so it's very difficult. Every other student is good with their marks, so we have scholarship basis on the religion, the basis on the caste he comes from. So it's very difficult. So maybe the guy who comes from a certain caste, so he gets a scholarship irrespective his parents could afford it, and other category is a general category wherein if the guy is comes from a middle class background and he's good with the studies also, still he won't get scholarship because he don't belong to a certain caste. So what I hear from you guys, it's very good. I just hope that someday our country also adopts this policy.
Yes. So I believe this is enough for today. And see you, all the listeners, next time on the radio show on Tuesday.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, listeners, and thank you so much, Liva and Kata. Lots of love and wishes and hugs. And thank you, Chetan.
Thank you.
Thank